Bintum, the first of the 3 females believed to have been kidnapped in Takrade disappeared. The second, Ruth Love Kwesen, has been gone for 99 days, whilst the third, Priscilla Mansebia Crunchy, has been missing for 82 days. Here at Joy News, we join forces with families and friends to demand swift and consistent action from state security agencies with the hashtag Bring Back Our Tardy Girls. Coming up in tonight's edition of Newsnight, UTAG describes as unlawful the dismissal of 2 lecturers at the University of Education, Winneba, as it vows to fight the decision.
We as a national body doesn't recognize that decision that has been taken by the leadership of this university. And therefore, UTAG, together with other stakeholders, are going to do whatever is necessary to make sure that justice prevails in this university.
We have details as students disrupt academic activities and protests, plus the latest from a just-ended meeting. Majority in Parliament serves notice they will use their numbers to push through government's request for 2 billion Ghana cedi sovereign guarantee for Ghana Amalgamated Trust. As minority serves notice they will resist it.
It's about getting the bank survive now so that we can have the benefit of their operations and save every customer and save the economy. That is our preoccupation.
There'll be a showdown, and it's expected in Parliament tomorrow when the House approves it. We'll tell you what to expect. And also, Chief Executive of Forestry Commission accuses someone with higher authority overruling his decision to stop the military-backed interministerial committee from engaging in illegal mining in the Kobro Forest Reserve.
The same forest.
How were they released?
Somebody with authority higher than mine, I'm sure, ranked whoever they wanted to rank.
And released them.
And said that these were interministerial soldiers or whatever they call them.
We have details.
And in business tonight, Vodafone Ghana to deploy its 4G services on Tuesday, March 19th. We have details for you in 30 minutes.
Later in sports, Asante Kotoko set to fly out to Zambia for their must-win CAF Confederations Cup game against Zesco after wrapping up preparations today. We'll hear from coach CK Akono, who's bemoaned injuries to key players.
And later in the bulletin, to answer a question from a journalist or to finish your meat, that was a dilemma of the Upper West Regional Minister.
You saw it. Let me finish chewing what was in my mouth before I talk. And I didn't want to waste your time. So we agreed that they should go and pick other questions.
The dilemma of a regional minister. We'll get to hear it later. Do join us with your thoughts and comments via WhatsApp on 0244 340 437. I am MF Apau.
And my name is Evans Mensah. Now.
What you hear there are sounds of students of the University of Education Winneba campus protesting the dismissal of their lecturers. The rioting students blocked some main roads on campus and demanded their reinstatement. The umbrella body of the lecturers, UTAG, have also described the university's decision as unlawful and vowed to fight it.
Well, we'll hear from the president of the University Teachers Association of Ghana, Dr. Eric Opoku-Mensah, shortly. But first, let's hear from some of the students who spoke to correspondent Richard Kodonyako.
What exactly do you want done? All that they are saying is that they want their lecturers back and they want the removal of the vice chancellor. They suspect that there are some unfair treatment on campus.
Is the lecturer that we say to be the best lecturer in the department. He is the one who has the sociology, is the one who teaches the soccer, first aid, a lot of courses that we don't see any lecturer in this our department taking us through.
We had a call from our Dr. Jinapo that he is also sacked, that he was at the lecture hall teaching the level 400 and he had a text message that he is sacked. So we want him back. He didn't do anything. So we want him back. He is the only lecturer in our department. We students want him back. We don't want our HOD. They should change our HOD and bring back our Jinapo. It's an intimidation affecting us.
The time that they have sacked the man is not good. Not the time, because if you check, we are now on 6th week of the whole semester. That means that we have some few days
for Mr. Pieces. You see, so this one is going to affect the whole university. There are issues of ultimate importance in this university. Sacking a lecturer is not important. There is no such president. There are issues that are impending. The security on campus is very poor. Communication to the students are very poor. We are suffering. My brother, you can't sack a lecturer in the middle of a semester. A lecturer lecturing people about 6 courses. You sack them in the middle of a semester. What do you want the students to do?
You heard there some students there interacting with Richard Kojo-Nyako. We can also hear from one of the dismissed lecturers who's been speaking to Joy News about how he got the news.
There are several reasons for our dismissal. Each one is dependent on whatever the person did. In my case, they said I have gone to court to ask the court to review a decision by council that I believe it was not right. So that's the reason why I was dismissed. I have a colleague who was a former alumni president representing alumni on council. He went to council, they took a decision, or they were in the process of taking a decision which was not comfortable to him. So he said he wants to excuse himself because he doesn't want to be part of that decision making. And they consider that as also a sign of disrespect. And his appointment has been terminated. I have the professor from Ejumako campus, Professor Avia, who was the principal of Ejumako campus. His charge is that he's not been cooperating with the other management members because when they are doing something wrong and he doesn't want to side with them, that is his charge. Now the students believe that enough is enough. Within a year, almost 30 staff, teaching and non-teaching, have been sacked or demoted or suspended. They believe they are suffering because at the end of the day, having paid your school fees, if you are not receiving tuition, then what is the essence of hovering around on campus? So today they have gone on peaceful demonstration to register their displeasure about this unwarranted dismissal of staff from the university. And their demand, simple, is that all dismissed individuals must be called back. None, so far those that have seen their letters, none can be justifiably defended that the person did something wrong.
Yeah, we are learning that the senior lecturers were dismissed for taking legal action against the university without first exhausting internal dispute resolution mechanisms. The principal of the College of Languages Education at the Jumako, Professor Ephraim Avayingso, and the local president of the University Teachers Association, Dr. Frimpong Duku, were among others found to have misconducted themselves by a special committee put together by the Vice-Chancellor. The dismissal letter signed by the VC, Professor Anthony Bruni, directed them to hand over all schools belongings to in their care. But their lawyer, Alexander Fanyo-Marking, says the move is unconstitutional.
It's a very bogus decision. I am disappointed in Alpha Bruni. His end has come. Alas, there will be justice for all those who have been victimized. I expect him to pack and leave the school for bringing shame onto himself, the university, and the government. He misled everybody into believing that there was corruption. He provided documents to the effect that certain contracts were awarded irregularly by Avoke and others. Now, if you say that Dr. Duku has taken the university to court, has Professor Afobroni forgotten that he himself was giving out university documents for Supi to go to court? Was he sacked? I mean, what kind of injustice is this?
And as a lawyer for the dismissed lecturers at the University of Education, Alexander Fanyo-Marking, as you can imagine, UTAG will be very upset with what has happened. Dr. Eric Opoku-Mensah is the national president of UTAG, and he has been speaking against it.
We wrote formally to this university, to the management of the university, requesting that they give due recognition to these elected executives as a result of the outcome of the appeal case. We also wrote to the executive, Dr. Keche Duku, that now that the court had duly cleared him, he can hold himself as the duly elected president of UEW, and that the National Executive Committee of UTAG duly recognized him as such. Just when we wrote that letter, then a day afterwards, an emergency meeting was held in this university. And the outcome of that meeting, Vice-Chancellor signing a letter summarily dismissing him on a list of allegations that are unfounded. Look, we know what is going on. There is an attempt clearly to make sure that Dr. K. Cheduku, one, doesn't hold himself as user executive because they know what he can do with his office and doesn't stay in this university as a lecturer. We as a national body doesn't recognize that decision that has been taken by the leadership of this university. And therefore, UTAG, together with other stakeholders, are going to do whatever is necessary to make sure that justice prevails in this university.
Well, there's been a critical meeting between the minister in charge of tertiary education and the leaders of the school and UTAG, among others, and we understand that just ended. My colleague, Richard Kodonyako, has been following this for us all day and is on the line with us with the very latest. Richard, what are we learning from this meeting?
Well, the meeting went on for close to 5 hours. The Omahini of the Futu traditional area, and Nagati, and the Vice Chancellor, plus the Minister of Education in charge of tertiary, plus other UTAG national executives were in this meeting. They are calling for calm so that they will look into the matter and resolve the matter amicably. So, Professor Yaka has been speaking with us.
Try to just, it was a listening tour. Come and listen to exactly what happened to lead to the disruption, what are the issues concerned, and why are we where we are at the moment. So I listened painstakingly to various accounts given, and don't forget that this was not a court case where you have arraigned those witnesses and prosecution and so on and so forth. It was just listening to a narrative of events that happened, the sequel of events that led to what happened yesterday and what is happening now. I've listened, and the advice that I've given, or that what emerged between us in the interaction, is for the council to take whatever steps that are necessary to ensure that peace and harmony return to campus within the shortest possible time, to ensure that normal academic work resumes, and that the students go back to school, the lecturers continue teaching if they had boycotted classes, and that if there are any alumni involved, they withdraw their presence and think of how to uplift the image of the university. We have discussed possible ways of ensuring that there is peace and harmony on campus. The government come in and tell council, give orders to council. The council is an autonomous entity. That is a trustee for the university, a trustee for government and for the state, and taking care of affairs for the state.
And Kojo, so he talks about bringing peace and harmony on campus. Today has been a pretty hectic day on campus. What's the situation now?
Well, the situation is pretty calm, but the students tell me that they are going to come back tomorrow because obviously they did not hear what they wanted to hear from the minister and the stakeholders that met, and so they are going back to where they are. They are going to disrupt lectures until their demand, is met. They want the lecturers to come back. They cite intimidation and unfair treatment on some of them, and they said that it started with the lecturers and very soon it will descend onto them. They've been protesting all day. They went to one lecture theater to the other, and then they disrupted classes, and they called all of them to come and join them. Don't also forget that the issue at the EEW is some kind of a cocktail of issues, politics, tribalism, and then some personal settlement. People want to settle some scores. And so this has culminated in what we saw today.
Thank you very much.
So we can now speak to the National UTAG President, Dr. Eric Opoku-Mensah. We are grateful for your time here on Newsnight. So you have described the dismissal of these lecturers as unlawful. But from what we gather, they misconducted themselves according to a special committee put together by the Vice-Chancellor. How then do you come by that conclusion that their dismissal is unlawful?
Thank you. Regarding this issue that is happening on EEW campus, we all know the president was there during the investiture of Professor Afubuni and encouraged all the stakeholders that we should make sure that there's unity. And we as National UTAG
was asked to help in this process. And we've had very fruitful discussions with the management of UEW, including Professor Fuboni. Now, there was a contest of the election results of UEW executives in court. And the outcome of the Winnipeg High Court case set aside the executives that they cannot hold themselves as such. And the case, the executives went on and appealed the case, the appeals court in Cape Coast. In January, on 30th of January this year, the court pronounced a judgment setting aside the earlier decision by the Winnipeg High Court, and therefore asking the executives led by Dr. Duku to hold themselves as executive members of UEW. So we as National UTAG had even asked Dr. Keche Duku and his team to step aside. And once the case, the pronouncement was made, UTAG wrote formally to the management of UEW to give due recognition to them, because clearly the court had pronounced judgment that they can still hold themselves as executive of UEW. Just the day that we sent the letter, the following day, they had this so-called emergency meeting, summarily dismissing Dr. Keche Duku. It's unacceptable. There's no law in Ghana that says that if you want to take your the leadership of the organization where you work, you have to go and seek permission from them. It is clearly a ploy, because we have been talking about this long ago. And as part of what the president said during the investiture of Professor Fuboni, we are all supposed to make sure that we allow peace to prevail, and that this issue of lining up people to sack them because those people spoke or were sympathizers of Professor Advocate should stop.
So they did not misconduct themselves?
We do not think so. We do not think so. This is just a ploy to legitimize what they want to do. Because, look, if you listen clearly to what Professor Dr. Duku clearly indicated, all the people who have been sacked by the current administration are people who have, in one way or the other, expressed their sympathies for what is happening in UEW, especially against Professor Advocate and the other people who have been sacked.
Okay, so then what does UTAG intend to do about the situation? Because UEW is always in the news.
It is rather unfortunate that it's been in the news. But now, just as you've clearly indicated, the students are up on the street and they are demonstrating. Today, together with the other national executive members, we are on UEW campus. Now we are on Legon campus, and we are holding a meeting tonight because all the other NEC members from the other campuses are here for us to take a decision going forward. Because I think that what is happening there is arbitrary. It is an unnecessary display of power, and it's an abuse of the statutes of the university. And therefore, we as National UTAG, we've got to take every step within our power, though legitimately, to make sure that justice prevails. Because we cannot allow this to happen in a university where dissenting opinion and public deliberation is supposed to be the culture.
We're grateful for your time. That's Dr. Eric Opoku Mensah. He's the president of UTAG.
Well, let's move on to Parliament now, because the majority in the House, they have served notice tonight that they will use their numbers to push through government's request for a 2 billion cedi sovereign guarantee for the Ghana Amalgamated Trust. Now, the request is before Parliament Finance Committee for approval, and the House is expected to look at it tomorrow.
So the minority has served notice. They will resist that request. Joseph Opoku Gakpo joins me in studio with more on this. So, Joseph, what is the background to this, and what exactly is GAT, and what approval is being sought from Parliament?
So you recall that when the minimum capitalization of the banks, the conversation came up and the deadline expired, the government indicated that in order to raise money to support the banks that didn't meet the minimum capital requirements, including Prudential Bank, ADB, NIB, and 2 other banks, they were going onto the capital, they were going onto the market, and that money from various pension funds will be put together to form what is the Ghana Amalgamated Trust in order to raise money to invest in the banks. Now, government is in Parliament requesting for a sovereign guarantee that would say when they go to the market and raise the money, in case anything goes bad, government is guaranteeing that you can hold us responsible for the money, to give investors the necessary assurance so that then they would be ready and willing to put their monies in the Ghana Amalgamated Trust so that then they can go invest in the banks and help with their recapitalization.
Then what is the minority's argument against this?
A number of concerns, including claims that the entire idea of the Ghana Amalgamated Trust is actually illegal, because that particular institution should have received parliamentary approval to operate even before a decision is taken that you would want to come to Parliament for a sovereign guarantee for them. They're also raising issues with the role of NIB, which is actually one of the banks which is receiving the money. Right on the floor of Parliament, the minority leader, Hena Idrisu, had demanded that if money is needed to help NIB with its work, they have shares in various companies that can be sold to raise up to 450 million, cedis in order to capitalize them, rather than them going for this money from GAT, which the concerns are that is very much on the high side. Another issue has been brought up that, again, with NIB, they have outstanding monies with government to the tune of about 759 million Ghana cedis, which is actually contracts that have been done that have not been paid for, and another 402 million. So the argument is all that money, when it's handed over to them, they will be more than okay to run the activities, rather than the need for them to get into the capital market. One other key point that is being raised is that under the GATT arrangement, when GATT invests money in a bank, it's possible that after some time, GATT can sell the shares that they acquire in the bank as a result of their investment to any other entity that they wish, and not necessarily the owners of the bank initially before GATT investment, which again they are concerned over. The minority deputy leader, James Savage, has been pushing the illegality agenda, and he explains more.
The GATT is alien to Parliament. We don't know what is GATT. Is it a company established by who? Parliament knows nothing about that. So why do you introduce a company that is alien to Parliament for Parliament to work for us to give a guarantee, a sovereign guarantee for that company to go and borrow?
From the majority MP on Parliament's Finance Committee, Anthony Ifa. We had to cut that because we have Mr. Kluche Aveji joining us. But let's hear from the majority MP on Parliament's Finance Committee, Anthony Ifa.
GATT is here to support banks that are ordinarily doing well, but small scale. And because they need to comply with the minimum requirement, are being brought up to achieve that.
The Deputy Minority Leader says GATT has not been established by Parliament, so it's an illegal entity.
No, it can't be illegal because we called over the weekend, we called for certificates of incorporation and commencement of business. And all these were provided to the committee over the weekend. So why is the illegality? If the company GATT is not registered, then we say that how can we lend to a company that an institution that is not registered?
Shouldn't the very idea of its establishment have come to Parliament for approval?
I don't know about the law on that, but as long as it's now before the House, we have the opportunity to ask all the relevant questions to ensure that it works. Doesn't mean if one condition is not satisfied at this moment in time, then everything should be thrown away.
The concerns have come up that per the banking laws, you can't borrow money to invest or establish in a bank, and that it will be a breach of the banking regulation.
That's absolutely wrong. They need to refer to the Banking Act again. What the emphasis there is that you cannot borrow money from a bank to buy its own shares. That should be established. And I think if they go back to the law, they will find out that businesses can borrow all over the world to establish big banks, big corporations. Otherwise, then nobody would save money until he has enough to establish a bank.
Let me move on to some of the other issues. Why is NIB being given up to 1.4 billion when that is far in excess of the minimum capital requirement?
No, because there's a big gap between the assets and the liabilities.
Let's bring in the Deputy Minority Leader, James Kluche Aveji, who's on the line with us. Mr. Aveji, thank you for your time here on Newsnight. You've talked about it being illegal, but from the majority point of view, in fact, over the weekend, they indicate that when the Finance Committee met, Finance Ministry officials brought in certificate to commence business and the legal documents that legitimizes the GATT. Did you see these documents?
Good evening, Eva. I am not a member of the committee So I did not see that document. However, the illegality I'm talking about is not about whether the GAT has been duly registered as a company or not. For the registration of a company, yes, GAT could be registered, all right. My legality I'm talking about is based on Article 192 of our Constitution, which says that public corporation shall not be established unless it is done by an act of parliament. If GAT is registered by a private entity, we don't have any problem with that. It has nothing to do with government, so it's none of our business. And in that case, it should not come to parliament for government. Parliament should give sovereign guarantee for that private company to go out to borrow. So for the fact that they are bringing it to parliament for a sovereign guarantee, it means that it's a public corporation. And the public corporation can only be established with an act of parliament. That's our point. That is our point. I'm happy that the Honorable Ifa says that for the law, he doesn't know about that. Yes, he might not know about the law, but I've just quoted the Constitution, Article 192 of the Constitution.
But the majority's position to that is that now that the sovereign guarantee is before the House, it's not too late to fix this, and that the House, this route can be used.
No, I disagree completely. I disagree. Withdraw this sovereign guarantee request, come back to Parliament, establish a law to bring a bill to establish GATT. We will pass the bill into an act. Then that act then registers or establishes the company. Then you don't come back with that. You don't pass the back door. Why? We are a country ruled by law. So let's ensure that we go according to we are the lawmakers.
So you believe the law has been broken. What is it that the minorities what is it that your minority side want to do about this, family?
Well, that is a point that you are raising. All right. One thing that we have first of all identified in this current government is that because they have the numbers in the House, they are doing whatever they want to do, forgetting that there is tomorrow. Okay, they will not be in power forever. Other parties may come to power, you might to query and question certain things that they are doing now. Yes, we can go to court and ask for the interpretation of the law.
You say you can. You say you can.
Can.
Will you? Will you?
We have not taken that decision yet as a party. That is why I said we can go to court and
should we expect a decision on that soon?
Well, I will not be able to tell now because we have not sat down as a caucus or as a party to take that decision.
I'm grateful that you joined us. That is the Deputy Minority Leader, James Kluchi Alverji. And on that note, as far as the GATT is concerned, the banks and helping them survive is concerned, let's do business. And then when we return from business, we'll hear from the Chief Executive of the Forestry Commission, who is accusing powers and high authority, more powerful than himself, overruling his decision to stop the military-backed interministerial committee from engaging in what he believes to be illegal mining in the Cobra Forest Reserve.
The same forest.
How were they released?
Somebody with authority higher than mine, I'm sure, ranked whoever they wanted to rank.
And released them.
And said that these were interministerial soldiers or whatever they call them.
We'll have details of that. And also our campaign, disband party militias now after business. Hello, this is a new phase, MFA.
Yeah, good to see you.
Good to see the two of you as well.
What news you bring us?
Okay, so coming up tonight, Vodafone Ghana to deploy its 4G services on Tuesday, March 19th. And also Ghana Civil Aviation Authority says it's still monitoring the Boeing 737 MAX 8 crash investigations. We have details for you. Business on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN. Welcome to the new world of business. Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number one stop shop for all office essentials, and First National Bank. We are the bank that understands your business. First National Bank, how can we help you?
Hello, and welcome to the MTN Weather Report. Minimum still, I'm not for and dry. But this year, whatever your needs are, we're there for you. Now, the details of my weather report. 15,000 cities will blow from the tropical boundaries across the country. We can also see a mist of fog patches of 25,000 cities and a heavy monetary downpour of 30,000 cities are a move to treat the dry season across the country. Now, ladies and gentlemen, everywhere you go, whether it be school fees or acquisition fees, we're there for you. Rent advance, salary advance, your sorted advance, because with MTN, we're there for you. Now, keep talking, browsing, texting, and sending Momo to accumulate points and win prizes each month to cushion you this year in the MTN More For You promo. 80 dial *120#. Now check your points. We're there for you everywhere you go.
Everybody, make us see you do the dance. Do the dance.
We give you nothing but the best. We stay above the rest. More quality, more affordability. Kingdom Books and Stationery. Everybody's going to the one and only shop where customer satisfaction is a guarantee. Kingdom Books and Stationery.
Oh yes, with our 30 days credit facility with no interest charge, free delivery services, and our free consultation on setting up your office, Kingdom Books and Stationery is unmatched in our delivery of quality and affordable office essentials, equipment, and furniture.
Experience world-class customer service in all our branches in Accra, Tema, Kumasi, Cape Coast, and Takoradi.
Call us on 0302-764-101
or visit our website at www.kingdomgh.com.
Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number one-stop shop for all office essentials and stationery. Terms and conditions apply.
Let us help you bank with the right bank. At First National Bank, we're more than just a bank. We're a digital partner that actually understands your business. Enjoy massive value with our various banking solutions. Get a business check account, a day-to-day transactional account for all businesses from all sectors of the economy. Access our online banking enterprise and bank your way 24/7. Invest with our short or long-term options that enable immediate access to funds. Optimize your cash flow, raise capital, and acquire assets with ease with our lending solutions. Trade with speed, consistency, and innovation with our global payments and forex solutions. With so much value up for grabs, there is no reason not to bank with First National Bank. First National Bank. How can we help you?
Welcome back. My name is Norvin Akwahefo to our first story, though, and the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority, GCAA, says it is premature to ban the use of the Boeing 737 MAX 8 by airlines flying the Ghana route. GCAA, which it says it's rather monitoring what is happening with regards to the investigation following the Ethiopian Airlines crash on Sunday, which left 157 passengers and crew members dead. They were rather assured that they would not compromise on safety. Simon Alote is the Director General of the authority.
We don't have any on our register. We have a number of foreign operators using the 737 MAX 8. We are in collaboration with all the CAs, that is Civil Aviation Authorities, who have registered these aircraft to operate out to Accra. And once they have not granted them, we feel confident that they are safe to fly. Boeing hasn't issued a service bulletin. The FAA hasn't issued an airworthiness directive grounding this aircraft. So it will be premature to rush into barring or preventing any operator bringing the 737 MAX 8 to Accra. So we are monitoring the situation. If it should change, we'll obviously update you.
Simon Alote is the Director General of the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority. Now, Vodafone Ghana has announced the 19th of March as the day the telecom company will roll out the commercial service of its 4G network service. According to the company, the earlier date in April has been moved forward due to the company's commitment to deliver excellent service for Ghanaians. Outgoing Chief Executive of Vodafone, Yolanda Kuba, who has been speaking to the press, said the company has invested in about 200 cell sites to deliver the service.
We mentioned that we will be rolling out 4G towards the later part of Q2, which is around June. However, I've had a team that has been working marvelously and actually have worked and bent over backwards to make sure that we can launch 4G not in the second quarter, even in the later part of the second quarter, but actually next week. So on the 19th of March, Vodafone Ghana will be launching commercially our 4G services to the public. Today, we've got more than 200 sites live, so I'm actually on 4G. I'm so happy. But the rest of you will have to wait until the 19th of March to actually experience the real 4G. So we had to put in new equipment across the board. We had to actually accelerate all our equipment actually coming into the country.
Outgoing Chief Executive of Vodafone Ghana, Yolanda Kuba. Now, the Association of Ghana Industries, AGI, has called for calm at the port following the ongoing tussle between port system operators. According to the AGI, the tussle between the operators should be well handled, not to undermine the purpose of single-window operations there. Vice President of AGI, Humphrey Dake, in an interview, advised the government to ensure that the main agenda of improving revenue mobilization at the port remains a priority.
What is the transitional plan for the workers that intend to lay off? What is the change process that they are engaging such institutions with? So to me, the end goal is government raking in the relevant revenue. Will this new system and contract attain that goal? One will talk about the cost. Sometimes you need to do a clear profit analysis to see whether the cost, the opportunity cost of possibly losing an extra cent to perfect the system and gain the intended revenue as against paying little and the revenue leakages, which is the best. So I know one of the cracks of the discussion is the cost of Unipass as against GCNet and the West. The critical question is, what is the end game? Are we raking in the relevant revenue for the nation's development?
Humphrey Dake is the Vice President of AGI. And finally, before we go, there were no gainers today at the close of trading. Top losers were MTN Ghana and GCB. MTN lost 71 pesos while GCB lost 3 cedis, 8 pesos. However, the total volume of shares traded today were 56,281 shares. My name is Novan Akwaifo, and that's all for business tonight.
So are you in the market yet? Yes, ma. Kindly buy me a few more things. Okay, ma. I'll send the money one by one so that I don't mix them up. Hey, I received 2 Ghana cedis alert now. Yes, ma. Good. Use that to buy red salty tolo beef. For 10 cedis, not topping up, not of fresh live cockerel. 50 pesos for original red mukwesho and
Ma, why don't you send it all at once?
With Vodafone Cash Ahoto, you pay just 3 Ghana cedis each month, and you can send any amount of money to family, friends, and business partners as many times as you want at no extra cost. There's a 1% to pay. Register for Vodafone Cash and subscribe monthly to the Ahoto offer by dialing *110# and selecting option 8.
The future is exciting. Ready?
Popular playwright James Ebo-White transforming Ghana's theatre industry after several failed attempts. This week on the Joy Business Van, we bring you the story of the CEO and artistic director of Riverman Productions, who has captured the hearts and imaginations of theatre lovers with his quarterly stage plays.
Even though each of the failures devastated me heavily, but I also could not get over the fact that, of all the things I have done, and I was doing things, I had worked in the private sector at very high levels of management, and all of them at the highest levels of leader management, but I couldn't get theater out of my system.
The Joy Business Van on TV, radio, online, and on ground. It is powered by Joy Business and supported by EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Tu me rends très belle et après je serai Mrs. Horlington Hobson. That was French. Oui.
Thank you, folks. On my A list today, show some love for Contractor EB. So, Contractor, what do you think about the country's changing skyline?
Oh, send them down there, Yuma. Across skyline, they change you, papa.
Wow. Contractor, don't you get worried when you hear of buildings collapsing?
I'm out for an answer on Tassam. It is the likability of using low quality product.
Please explain why.
Cement is no quality on the gasem. Village of Fefio Yosiwe. It was built with gasem. Says the gasem they all construction International, Osi Pumping, N1, Kajita Market, Kotokana Kumasi Airport, Cape Coast Stadium, Atrabu Gas Project in Gasebo, Messi, what the quality, you know what is quality.
Gasem, 3 cement grades, greater value. Gasem, the nation builder.
You're welcome back to News Night, and thanks for staying with us. Let's take some of your comments that you've sent in via WhatsApp on 0244340437. This one from Kwesi Reynolds from Aguna Odobing says, the University of Education, whenever deserves the best from indigents of Efutu and all stakeholders. The internal and external rifts that have shrouded the management of the university will only disrupt the smooth running of the school. And then this one from Isaac Kesse from Kolebu says, the decision by the UEW to dismiss lecturers is uncalled for, and the Ministry of Education must get into this to resolve any misunderstanding. Abunyi Bismarck in Cape Coast also says, please, a decision that the UEW has taken is bogus and very unlawful. They need to rectify this as soon as possible. And we have this one also from a concerned student of UEW. He says it is simple. The law of karma is taking its course, and this is the price we pay for meddling in our education or mixing our education with politics. UEW deserves the best, he says. Some of your comments that you sent in via WhatsApp.
You are still listening to News Night. It's here on Joy 99.7 FM. And I'm here with MFR Powell. My name is Evans Mensah. The Chief Executive of the Forestry Commission, Kojo Usefriye, a.k.a. Sir John, is accusing someone with higher authority than him of overruling his decision to stop a military-backed interministerial committee that he accuses of engaging in illegal mining in the Krobo Forest Reserve.
Now, the Forestry Commission and members of the interministerial committee clashed last month over a reclamation exercise in the forest. Mr. Kojo Usefriye tells Joy News he's unaware, or he's aware of this high authority thwarting his efforts to protect the forest from degradation.
Military police. So they went there and arrested these guys, handcuffed them, and then the civilians there were also arrested and given to Jacobu police, for purpose of prosecution. And when they were confronted and we asked them what their mission was, one of them said he was doing reclamation. By who? He couldn't tell us. The other person said he was doing mining. He did not have the requisite Minerals Commission documents. He did not have our entry permit. He did not have EPA, nothing. And yet they were in the forest. And curiously, that work was being done in the night. Otherwise, the question that I asked myself was, if you are doing reclamation, why do you do it under the cover of darkness? Why? If you are doing mining, the proper, lawfully mined activities, why do you want to do it in the night with electricity, with water, and everything? So, in effect, those people had gone there to stay. We arrested them, and then the rest is history. Even as we speak today, those same group are still in the forest doing illegal activities.
But they went there with journalists because they told us that they were part of the Interministerial Task Force sent there to reclaim. Did you check that to see if that story checked out?
Look, if you are doing reclamation, obviously the Forestry Commission, that is my forest. I should know.
You didn't know?
As we speak today, I challenge anybody who says he's doing reclamation to produce the documents that they have for you to interrogate and for me also to look.
So how did they get the military support?
Your guess is as good as mine. I should have asked you that question. From the village, how would I know? From Wono.
But you said these people were arrested, and yet you said now that they are still in some other forest doing the same thing.
The same forest.
How were they released then?
The same forest.
How were they released?
Somebody with authority higher than mine, I'm sure, ranked whoever they wanted to rank.
And released them.
And said that these were interministerial soldiers or whatever they call them, and that they were there. But the point is, why are they protecting people from doing what?
So, isn't that a truth then, that they are interministerial people that you arrested?
That is not the government of the case. The government of the issue is, what are they doing there?
No, but
and whoever is working, why do they need the protection of soldiers? Why?
Because they're doing reclamation.
So everybody who does reclamation in this country wants the protection of soldiers? Is that what you are saying?
But what you just said is that somebody higher than you undermined your authority.
No, I've never used the word undermine.
But somebody.
These are your words.
No, the words you use is that somebody higher authority had asked that they're doing reclamation, so they let them go.
But that's not to say that they undermine him.
You didn't feel undermined.
Those are your words.
You don't feel undermined?
Well, I don't understand what undermining means.
Okay, what would you describe it as? When your men have arrested people you believe were conducting illegality, and yet these people have been let go, and you're doing the same thing that you went to stop.
I saw that the people had gone there to do an illegal activity. My duty was to stop people from undertaking.
But you haven't succeeded, you're just admitting. You stopped them once, they were arrested, even let go.
But of course, even those people who were arrested in the Western region, I'm sure if you go to Western region today, they are still there.
And that's Coach Joseph Freer, and it's a PM Express conversation. It's going to be on live tonight from 9 p.m. on the Joy News channel on Multi TV. Make a date for that full interview. And if you recall, last 2 weeks or last month when this story broke about the clash, we spoke to the minority spokesperson on Mines and Energy, Adams Ntawakilu, who told us that they have a list of, some names politicians, etc., who are engaged in illegal mining, and they threatened that they're going to put that list out. Thankfully, he joins us on the telephone line right now. Mr. Utawakilu, thank you for your time here on Newsnight.
And thank you very much, my brother.
You promised us last month that list will be released. Do you have it now? Can we have it?
It will be released soon.
That's exactly what you told us last month.
We are verified and counter-verified so that when I come out, there's no dispute.
Okay, and so when is soon? Next week?
Just like I made mention of this illegal mining some last year, people disputed it, and it has come to vindicate the minority in Parliament in respect to illegal mining.
So when you say soon, is it next week or next 2 weeks?
We're doing some due diligence on it, counter-verify, and soon we'll be out with the list. Some other people are verifying certain things for me, and therefore the committee as well.
Okay, is it the committee's work or it's minority's work?
Yeah, it is the minority in the committee, and therefore the minority committee members are working to unravel it. Then when we are the minority leader takes control.
What do you make of the comments we just heard from the chief executive of the Forestry Commission?
It is he's just repenting and trying to clear himself of not being the one involved in illegal mining. But as I indicated some time ago, it has been institutionalized with the headquarters being at the Flagstaff House or the Jubilee House, as we say. So directives come from the Jubilee House. So no any other institution have the right to stop the Galamsey, be it Mineral Commission or Forestry Commission. That is the extent we've gotten to the point that illegal miners enter a forest, and the Forestry Commission CEO is not aware and has come publicly to complain and has admitted that directives come from above. It comes to confirm the minority position that the Flagstaff House is the headquarters of Galamsey.
Well, there's no evidence to show that the Flagstaff House was what he was referring to. He didn't say that. You are making this up.
I'm not making it up.
You haven't given me any evidence to back that claim you just made.
Yeah, very soon you will get the evidence.
Until that, you cannot make that comment because you don't have the evidence now.
Let me also go further to say that the announced video had come to confirm that some staff from the Flagstaff House are involved.
You're still insisting on Mr. Mutawakilu. You say to me that you don't have the evidence now, so you have to leave out these allegations that you can't prove now. If you're referring to analysis documentary that we've watched, so you can talk about it.
Headquarters from the Flagstaff House.
No, you still.
For now, let me use the word.
Well, you still cannot do that because you know that you don't have the evidence. You can talk about the last documentary. I think my fundamental question to you is: you've been in Parliament for a while, the spokesperson. This has been going on for a while. You say you're going to release a list. Beyond that, what specifically can you do, or will you intend to do? Bring in a motion, hauling the minister to get to the bottom of this.
Yes, that will duly be followed. But I would like to finish my work so that when the minister appears before the Parliament, if we decide to go that way, we have clear evidence to put to the minister. But the first and foremost is that we expected the presidency to have acted long time ago. But because they are complicit in it, they've been quiet.
And we've seen in Nana's documentary that Mr. Bisu, who is the secretary to the Interministerial Committee, has left his post as a result of that. But I'm grateful that you join us here on News Now. Let's do some sports now. Enhancements and Doyle is here with the very latest. Hello, Hans.
Hello, Evans. How's Manchester United doing?
Oh, we are thriving. You know, it just occurred to me that we're tired of winning. And so we just thought, well, you know, if you're going to lose against anybody, lose against Chelsea. Because Chelsea, Arsenal, there's no way Arsenal can sustain any serious run. And so for they, they're going to fall off. So I don't have a problem. Let's go on. What do you have in the headlines?
Right, so Kumasi Asante Kotoko, they've wrapped up their preparation for that's here in Ghana. And they are set to leave for Zambia tomorrow for their must-win game against Zesco this Sunday. Remember, Kotoko find themselves third on the log, and they have some 7 points, so they need to win that game against Zesco. But Coach Siki Akono has bemoaned the recent injuries to some of his key players.
No coach will be happy if you get key players that are injured. I mean, it's a very painful one. I mean, last Saturday in our last training, Daniel got injured, and before then it was Baku, and then Senanu and the rest. So we kept losing key players in the team, and sometimes it's difficult. However, we're going to Zambia, and those who are injured are injured. We can't do anything about it. We have to think, we have to be smart in that game and try as much as we can to get a win.
So that was Asante Kotoko head coach Siki Akono speaking there as the team prepares to jet out to Zambia tomorrow. And there is UEFA Champions League action later tonight. Manchester United managed to turn it around against PSG.
The only team in the history of the competition to have done that. Yes, go on.
Juventus also have a similar task. They are behind by 2-0 against Atletico Madrid.
Were they behind as in they played at home? Or they played away?
They played away.
So it's not the same as us. So clarify
It's a similar situation.
It's not similar. It's not the same.
It's a similar situation.
It's not similar.
2 goals behind in the tie.
Yes, but that's 2 goals at the away ground.
So they need to overturn that. Key question, can Cristiano Ronaldo lead the charge for Juventus? Live commentary here on Joy 99.7 FM. Build-up starts at 7:45.
We want you to know that if you don't disband private criminal militia groups, we will not vote for you because we are scared.
The time has come for us as a political class to say that this development is not good for the future of this country.
The NPP has been guilty, the NDC has been guilty in terms of these groups. And so both the NDC and the NPP will have to find a way of engaging the base of our parties.
The NCC will continue to condemn, name and shame all political parties who endorse, support and or identify themselves with any of these groups until these groups are disbanded, word and in deed.
If voluntary disbandment by the parties is not feasible, then I will initiate legislation in the matter.
Joy News, God bless you. If you were not there, Nana Akufo-Addo today will not be making noise about how to disband vigilante groups. We salute you, Joy.
We know them, the individuals in party militias. We know those who fund them. Let's use this to put pressure on the politicians to disband party militias now.
They remain a major threat to our democracy as a nation. Hashtag disband party militias now.
You don't need macho men to be able to help you win elections. Hashtag disband party militias now.
Disband party militias now.
Join the campaign. Hashtag disband party militias now.
Hashtag disband party militias now.
Disband party militias now.
And the campaign just got bigger today because a coalition of civil society groups, including the Office of the Chief Imam and the Ghana Pentecostal Council, IDEG, ARC Foundation, and others today held a joint press conference exactly to put power pressure on the political parties to resolve this with facilitators and mediators as part of it, in accordance with some of the demands that made by the NDC already. And we know that, of course, us here as well, Joy News undercover work has exposed the existence of this pro-MPP militia group at the former seat of government, the castle. That expose has triggered a call for government to work faster to disband party militias in the country. But the presidential direction for the MPP and the NDC to sit and talk is yet to materialize almost 3 weeks after the president made that call. Fifi Kumsing has more.
A violent by-election
and a fatal shooting of an NDC man by a militia group in Kumasi trigger a presidential call to disband such groups.
Grandchildren will not forgive us if we were to compromise our peace and stability. I will not permit that to happen under my watch. Our forebears paid too high a price with their blood and toil to bequeath to us this beautiful nation.
So it's been established both the NDC and the MPP have militia groups affiliated to them, at least as claimed by this member of the pro-MPP group, the Invincible Forces.
MPP, they have Delta Force Invisible and the I in the MPP. And NDC too, they have Azuka Boys, the Ox, and the Motor Riders, and the Bashaka. They are almost 6 or 8.
Following the call by the president, however, there's been very little action, except mostly the exchange of letters between the NDC chairman Samuel Ofosu-Ampofo and the president of the Republic, Nana Akufo-Addo. The NDC wrote demanding a third party be appointed to mediate and moderate the talks to disband party militias.
We will avail ourselves of the opportunity whenever, at the pleasure of Your Excellency, and at a venue convenient for the purpose, unquote.
But the president wrote back, first dismissing the suggestion and insisting on his conviction about what parties should sit and talk. Just the MPP and the NDC, he believes. After a few days, the NDC has returned with a detailed explanation as to why more people and institutions must be engaged in this all-crucial discussion.
They want the discussions to include all political parties, civil society organizations, representatives of the media, the military, police and other security agencies, as well as any other relevant stakeholders. They suggest the National Peace Council be appointed as a mediator for such a meeting.
Their reasons boasted by the Joy News documentary Militia in the Heart of the City that revealed the presence of a militia group at the Christianborg Castle. In the heat of the controversy, the Pentecostal and Charismatic Council says it's worried about the president's response to the revelations so far. Chairman Reverend Paul Frimpong-Manso.
The responses too were not the best to me, saying that at least it has opened our eyes. The state apparatus, the state machinery, the government should be up and doing. Even though they may not be a vigilante group or whatever, we can still not be justified to have those people being there. And I believe that it should be investigated and those people involved should be punished.
A call to action, and a good action for that matter, to end a worrying epoch in Ghana's history when hoodlums and scoundrels armed themselves in the name of protecting the ballot box.
And MFA, you have children, I do have children as well, and we cannot have this campaign without thinking about the future of this country. And the future of this country is about these children. And so it's just appropriate to hear their voices as part of this. And that's exactly what the children are doing as well, calling on the adults in these political parties to sit and fix the problem.
Tell me where we gonna run to after making our motherland a better place to live.
Ghana is the only country we have.
Answer me now, Mr. Big Man. You know this, everybody want to go and go off for it.
I am a child and I have a stake. In the peace of this country.
Give me food, give me clothes, give me love, and give me shelter.
Mr. Politician, Ghana deserves better. Your children deserve better. The political violence must stop. The party militias must be disbanded. We are the future. We plead with you to preserve that future. Disband party militias now. Disband party militias now. Disband party militias now. Disband party militias now.
Well, if you're an adult in any of these two political parties, and these are your children, possibly your grandchildren, telling you to disband it, if you still don't, then as they say, wara or wara. But in this case, it's not wara or wara because we all have a stake in this great country of ours. And that's why we must, at all costs, force the adults in the parties to listen to these children to do exactly what the children have asked. And everybody is asking as well. That's our show tonight. My name is Evan Spencer.
I am MF Papa.
And we leave you with the meat-eating regional minister for the Upper West who has to finish chewing the meat before he asks his question. Enjoy your evening.
Yeah, open up. We'll all talk. On the issue of the charcoal, we didn't say we're not addressing it. I sat down, I took something to chew.